I actually in my past created probably the single largest energy
Uh,
beverage in the world. And
I was gonna ask you about that. So that's one of the is this the company with the 10 billion? Is this that company that you were CEO of?
that's, I was not
How
CEO
can
of that.
you say that? I don't know what you okay.
Yeah, I was not CEO of that company, but I was the manufacturer and formulator of this specific product. I won't mention the product, but what I will say is that that is a product that I would never, ever, ever put in my body today, ever. And it's still the same product that I created all the way back in 2003. So there's nothing changed with that, but they have literally sold billions and billions and billions of dollars of that product.
I probably bought some. I'm sure.
You probably have, but, that was back at a time where, for example, we were told that sucralose was the safest artificial sweetener that there is, and sucralose has a
True.
great taste. Well, now we know that sucralose destroys your microbiome, and it does so many negative things to the body. We also know that, there are other things in there like, taking a 250 milligram dose of caffeine at one time. Man, you talk about fast up, and all of a sudden you've got hard down crash. And so,
Yeah.
they even kind of market themselves no jitters, no crash. Well, I will tell you that that's absolutely false because you take one of those, you're going to get jitters and you're going to crash because it happens. I've seen it way too much. But no, it's there are products and things that I've done in my formulations career. Now, that's not the only product that has, consistently been a multi-billion dollar product. I've created a lot of other billion-dollar products as well. But that one would be the one that you see commercials on it all the time, still to this day. And, 22 years later, it's still the number one product in its category. I'm just glad that I learned and that I figured out that it's not something that I would ever put in my body. There's a whole nother story I'll tell you sometime else about how I figured that out too. So anyway, it's
Mm.
kind of a
Yeah,
good
another
story.
story for another day. I know.
We'll
But
we'll stay that
it's
the boat.
amazing. There you go. I like that. Definitely. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how we know so much now, but we still are so far behind. Like when I see somebody smoking a cigarette, I'm like, how, who still smokes cigarettes? Like you think after all these years of all this research that you would know, and I get it that there's an addiction. That's a different story for a different day too. But, it just kind of blows my mind. And then seeing people drink Diet Cokes when they know it's like been linked to MS and there's been so many things that you can tell the stuff that's in this is just not good. Sure, it tastes good and you're addicted to it for a reason. They want you to be addicted to it. Um, there's so many other better things out there. So just getting the word out, just educating people, definitely. So when I was a dentist, I like saying that, I think. I don't know. When back in my past life,
Before you leave.
I yes, exactly. I started doing a lot of sleep. I did a lot of sleep study and was treating people with sleep because we worked from here up, and that's kind of where a lot of the sleep happens. When you lay down, you can't breathe, and then I could see the vicious cycle of it. It made people, like cortisol would go up. They would gain weight, losing muscle, all the things kind of that we talk about was coming from a lot of the sleep problems that these people were having, and then having to take a CPAP but not using it, and just all those things. And so whenever the Restore came out, I didn't have a sleep problem, right? Like most people tell me all the time, and I'm like, I bet you do. But I was so happy about it because I was like, wow, this could add, they may still need an appliance. Maybe they can get off of their CPAP but still have a sleep appliance. It's just like a jaw, like moving the jaw so that you can get some stuff in. But if you lose weight, then you don't have as much here, right? You don't have all of the things falling back. So that's one thing. If they just lose weight, that's going to help them for sure. And then if you have a better sleep system, not having a sedative, so that you actually can feel better when you wake up. So Restore for me, because I was a good sleeper, I'm like, before my head hits the pillow, I'm like, you better talk to me before it goes down because I'm out, and I was, except the hit in my 50s, a little bit of waking up with some night sweats, and but very minimal compared. I wouldn't have said I was a bad sleeper. And so when I tried it, I tried just one, didn't get a whole lot. I was like, oh, whatever. I'm gonna try everything once or twice to see what happens so that I can tell people. And then one of my affiliate friends was like, no, you need to take two. And I took two. and it was a game changer. But that's what I call this, not my sleep pill. I call this my morning pill. This is my wake up on game pill, and not on game excited like normally, like I'd hit snooze a bunch of times and then I would be like, oh my God, I'm gonna say, I mean, I wake up feeling like I just what I would have felt like when I slept for 24 hours. I wake up feeling like I am so ready for the day. And I love that feeling. And I didn't know if that would ever happen. I didn't even know that it was that I wasn't waking up right. You know what I mean? Like you just only know what you know. And so until you get something better, you're like, wow, I'm so glad I found this later in my life where I can enjoy my next day instead of feeling groggy and I gotta have my caffeine or I gotta have a cup of coffee. Don't talk to me before I have a cup of coffee. I mean, I wake up ready to go. All my tabs are cleared and my brain is like, okay, what we're gonna do today? Here you go. This is what I got for you. And God just like lays it out and it's been great. So as much as I thought I didn't need restored, I love restored. So tell me what your thoughts are on that.
Oh yeah, well, I'm exactly the same way. I think that anytime that we can do something just to get an extra 15 or 20 minutes of deep sleep or REM sleep is huge. And if you think about most people that have sleep issues, and it's a major problem for people in this
It is.
country. I mean,
Yeah.
Ambien is one of the top most prescribed drugs. But the problem with Ambien is it'll put you in a trance, it'll sedate you, but it doesn't give you deep, meaningful, reproductive, restorative sleep. That's the problem with Ambien. And so they've actually shown that, we have this detoxification system in our brains called the glymphatic system, the GLY lymphatic. So the glymphatic system only operates during deep sleep. If we're not getting deep sleep, our brains are not detoxifying. They're not getting rid of all the metabolic waste because our brains are hugely metabolically active. They're always metabolically active. But they also, at the same time, with metabolism comes waste byproducts. And you've got to have a way of clearing those waste byproducts out. Well, we have this glymphatic system that if we're not getting good, deep, restorative sleep, our glymphatic system doesn't work, and those glymphatics don't clean our brains. That's why over time, what happens when we're on things like Ambien, that we're not getting that good, restorative, deep sleep, is that we start to see increases in your tau proteins and increases in your beta, amyloid, the BA, I can't even remember what the name of the beta amyloid plaques. That's what it is. But you start to see those increases in your beta amyloid plaques and different things like that in the brain. And so, what are we doing? Yeah, we may be sedating somebody, but we're not restoring. So we always talk about this whole process of sedation doesn't mean restoration. If you're not
Right.
getting that good, deep, restorative sleep, then your brain's not able to cleanse itself and restore itself. So anything that we can do to get even an extra 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes of deep sleep a day is huge. And that's what Restore does. Now, we've seen people in different things, and we did an internal study of about 100 people internally using the Aura Ring. And that Aura Ring, you can actually, basically monitor your deep and your REM sleep. And we were seeing, deep sleep increases in people of, 30, 40, 50% even in a lot of the subjects that were participating in that internal study. So we saw a lot from that. And you could tell that when they got their dosage right, for you, it's two. I will tell you that for me, it's one. One is my dose. Two actually makes me get just a little bit too groggy. I go almost too much deep in REM sleep. I kind of start having some weird dreams at night. But if I go to one, one is the perfect dose for me personally. But there are other people, I know a lot of people that have had like some PTSD, military guys, law enforcement, first responders that have had PTSD issues. It definitely takes two for them as well. It kind of just depends on each individual. Beautiful thing about it is you can figure that out over time. Start with one, go to two. If you're not getting what you're desiring in one, then go to two and try that. And so, but if
Yeah.
you really want to see how it's working, get on it for 15 or 20 days and then
Yep. Get a ring.
well, you can get an Oura ring, right? But get on it for about 20 days, about 3 weeks, and then get off of it.
Oh.